Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and let's talk about Kinmuso for static rook. And from this basic position, black plays go to 6-8. Keeping this silver here is a good idea. It provides a better safety for black when bishop trade happens, for example. And here, how white waits matters. And long story short, pawn to 5-4 is correct. And black would bring this up. And if white plays carelessly, for example, silver to 4-3, it's not going to be good for white because great sacrifice can be made here, which is knight to 4-5. If white takes it, black can exchange bishops, then break through the second file, so white must avoid this. And here, pawn to 6-4 seems to be good. And black plays silver to 4-6. And it's always good idea to reinforce the square that is going to be targeted, right? And then rook comes out. And if, again, white doesn't care, for example, like this, black can initiate the attack like this one. But here, there is something excellent for white. And if you spot it immediately, you are already really great. If black exchanges bishops like this, and this silver is going to be eventually captured like that. But even if black drops back with it, bishop to 4-4 is great, and that's why this pawn push is great. When his rook comes out, white can create beautiful fork right here. And if this silver moves back, then white can dominate the fourth file by silver to 4-4. Since his generals are saturated on the left and it's pretty weak on the right, so white can easily take control right here. And the main subject is to take this pawn by the knight. Then white can exchange bishops this time. Then the silver advances, and winning this piece is guaranteed, so black has no choice but to keep going. If both players decided to keep attacking, it's going to be pretty intense. And actually, the situation is not so great for both players, because both of these defenses are almost gone, right? But it's a little bit good for black because next promotion is going to be a threat mate. So white needs to avoid this. And how can white can avoid this threat? All the way back to this position. It wasn't so great because white made a little bit mistake here. And instead of pawn to 6-4, rook to 4-1 is a good idea. And let's see what happens if it goes in the same way. And white can push this pawn. And like this. And like that. Since white made a little change here, the promoted pawn is not attacking anymore, right? It's neutralized. So here black has to take this promoted silver. And again, since it's safer now, white can keep attacking. And this silver is going to be pretty strong. And as you can see, white's defense remains safe, and threat made against black's king can easily be made thanks to this little change here. And all the way back. And there is something I want to talk about as well. And here, many people might wonder, what about pawn to 6-4 instead for this goal to escape beforehand? And the idea is great because it's avoiding the future threat of the promoted pawn, right? But it's not so great for white because when white does this, this silver can actually go to the left. If white pushes this pawn now, it's too late because white can ignore it and take this pawn instead to attack this bishop. If white plays bishop to 1-5, black can fight back. Then the bishop will be captured. It's going to be difficult for white because the rook isn't working so well, and even worse, he doesn't have any pawn in hand. And simple piece drop like bishop to 2-6, for example, in the future can simply be powerful because these two pieces are going to be attacking this square. And again, he doesn't have a pawn, so it's going to be difficult to defend. And of course, if bishop drops back, then black can exchange pawns on the second file, right? And before that, black calmly moves back to save the silver, then break through the second file. It's very difficult for white to defend here. So that's why pawn to 5-4 is better than pawn to 6-4. Here in this position, if black gives up and chooses to go for slow game instead, he would push this pawn instead. Then white can go for silver crown like that. And still, this type of rapid engage doesn't work because this structure is pretty solid. I'm going to show you some examples, and bishop trade would happen, right? And instead of silver, this knight can recapture the horse. And this time white doesn't have a pawn, and next bishop drop to 6-4 would be so strong. Also, this square is unprotected and white has a pawn in hand, right? So white actually has initiative here. Plus, this square is protected by the silver, so pawn exchange isn't so scary for white. And black would go for solid defense as well. For example, like this. Like that. And please remember, pushing this pawn too soon is not going to be good for white because it shuts the potential route for effective piece maneuvering like this or this. So building silver crown without pushing this pawn is a great idea. And instead, white can play knight to 7-3, for example, like this. When king comes to 8-8 square, white can initiate the attack like this. Then white can open up the diagonal whenever he feels right. And right here, look at this position. It's amazingly avoiding this diagonal proactively. So that's why this position is so great, slow game or not. Alright, that's all. I was personally struggling with the Kinmuso rapid attack, and I was satisfied with what I found studying and happy to share with you all. I hope it's been helpful. Take care and see you all next time. Bye.